evening, everybody. Welcome to RedArmy TV. It's not our usual Wednesday evening, clearly. It's a Thursday, so thanks for joining us. I've got Marc Phil and Phil Bullock joining us on the sofa tonight, so we've got a lot to cover. We're through the festive period. We're straight into the thick end of the season now, aren't we, lads? So we're going to be talking about the Peterborough game, 5-0 at home, great result. We're going to be looking forward to Birmingham away, a couple of games coming up as well. But yeah, just lads, Peterborough, 5-0 at home. How did that go down? What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, I think I predicted it last week's show.
You
I think I said at the end of the show.
You did, yeah.
So I'll do the same this week, and if anybody wants to put money on, don't. Whatever you do, because I can guarantee it'll be wrong. But it was a good result, wasn't it? 5 goals coming in one half. I think Grant Ledbetter came out at the end of the game and said the fans were fantastic, but there was a sense of trepidation from the fans because we hadn't scored in the first half. But look, he said there's nothing to worry about. We scored 5 second half. Can't say much fairer than that, really.
No, I just thought it looked confident, didn't it? Especially second half. Just set up well, and goals breed confidence. Simple as that.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you. You know, after the first couple of goals, you know, for me we looked like a completely different team. The team were playing with confidence, and there was little flicks and passes. What did you, Mark? Did you think the same thing after like a weight had lifted?
It just settles you down, doesn't it? I mean, again, we're not going to go over like obviously the festive period. There was some not so good, and some good results, wasn't there, for us? Not necessarily, you know, the type of football that we could play, but I think that look, regardless of who it is, Peterborough, anybody, 5 goals in one game is fantastic.
Yeah,
it got the crowd going. There was people there who possibly don't go to league games and they go on the back of cup games because it's a little bit cheaper, take the kids and things like that. Hopefully that'll bring them to a league game, you know. And for someone like Sombalonga to get a couple, you know, strikers want to score goals, simple as that. Breeds confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I sort of caught the second half. I didn't catch the first half, so luckily I think that was the right thing for me to do. But Sombalonga, I saw him make a few little nice touches, which I haven't seen him make through the season so far. And I thought, hey, this Van La Parra lad looks good. And then it clicked that obviously it was a Sombalonga just playing like a different player. Phil, did you think the same thing as well? Or?
I think it's great that he's back scoring. It's been a few games now that he's featured that he hasn't, and to be fair, in the last few games, other than that strike from outside the box, he's never really looked like scoring. So for me, it's a bonus that he's got 2 because his confidence now hopefully is going to be it's not going to be sky high, but it's going to be higher than what it was. But I don't know. He scored so easily against them that weren't really great, to be honest. But I just think when it comes back to the league now, Birmingham at the weekend, are we going to see the same Brit if he plays, or is it going to be back to the same old, back to goal, extra touch, all of this unnecessary football? Yeah.
I mean, that leads me nicely into my next question, actually. Obviously, we're playing Birmingham at the weekend away. We've had a great comment from Stuart Gawley. He said all along goals win games 4-4-2. Mark, it was more of an attacking formation. Do you think we'll see that in the league, or do you think we will go back to the one up front, pack the midfield?
If I was a betting man, we will go back to what Tony's played for the majority of the season. I totally agree with, was it Stu who said that?
Stu Gawley, comments every week.
I totally agree with Stu there. I mean, I'm a big 4-4-2 man. I think it excites the crowd. I think it showed you what we could do with the 5 goals against Peterborough. And Phil's right, you know, it is Peterborough, and I think, you know, Tony Pulis came out in the press conference and said, look, let's not get carried away.
Yeah. He's
very good at doing that, Tony. He's an honest guy, so he comes out and says, no, let's not get carried away. He mentioned the fact that if you're in the top 6 of the Championship, you're closer to the Premier League than you're out of League One. So really, it was like them near enough playing a Premier League side. So let's just stay grounded. They're great words, but going back to Brit Sombalonga, Brit loves that type of player with 4-4-2 because at the minute when he comes on and plays like the lone striker, if you like, it's not his type of game, is it? I don't want to dwell and go back over Boxing Day. He might as well have not even turned out because we couldn't get the ball to him. You know, if you could have anybody stood in the box, if you can't get the ball to him, you're not going to score goals. So I think I'm with Stu. I think 4-4-2. I'd love to see it every week. Certainly at home as well. I just think it excites players. It gets the players. Excites fans. Excites players to an extent where I think they lift it 10%. I think you're seeing that with a cup game.
Yeah, definitely. A notable goal from Ashley Fletcher there. I mean, obviously, we're right in the midst of the January transfer window, and there's been rumours of him off to Hull, and is it on, is it off? I thought it was quite a nice little finish that he made, and you know, is he going to be given more of a chance later in the season? Phil, what are your thoughts on that?
I think of all of the goals that Ashley Fletcher's scored for us, which is a shame, have been against lower opposition, haven't they?
Granted, yeah.
I don't
But is that
think
because he's only had the opportunities in the Cup?
No, because when he first came to Middlesbrough under Gary Monk, he had opportunity. He had plenty of opportunity, and he couldn't. He went off to Sunderland last season. He struggled.
That
I think
was,
you
disappointing.
know, and had it gone the other way and he'd gone to Sunderland, he scored a lot of goals, he'd have come back fresh-faced, really willing to give it a go. We may see a different Ashley Fletcher, but I honestly think his time at the club is up. We're trying to find the right team, and I think it's unfortunate because I think a team like Hull really would have benefited from his play because he is a very good technical player. He's got the speed. He doesn't really have this single-minded, single attacker style of play about him, which is, you know, echoing what you've just said there about Assombalonga. But I do think if you can play in a system with another striker or somebody that you can link up with in that final third, I think he could probably get a few goals. But I don't think it's ever going to come for the Boro.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, is there a player there, or is it that he doesn't suit our system, or is there a player there with the right system, or is there just not a player there at all?
For me, mate, that's exactly, you've just hit the nail on the head for me, because unfortunately, Tony likes to play, fortunately or unfortunately, however you see it, in my opinion, you know, Tony likes to play that system, as we all know, you know, and it is a defensive system. Yeah. Let's not let a goal in, and let's try and hit them and score, and then sort of like, you know, build on that. But if you go in the pecking order, you've got to think that Fletcher's going to be down the pecking order with that lone striker up front. I don't think we've got a bad striker at the club at 4-4-2, but it's not the system that the gaffer wants to play.
Yeah.
So therefore, he becomes surplus to requirements. It's just another guy on a wage bill. You could probably get, you know, a decent amount of money for him, and he's probably going to go and set the world on fire somewhere else. He's probably going to score goals in the right system. I think Gested could score goals in the right system.
But he has. He has.
He's proved it, and history shows that. And also, you know, for me, Hugill at the minute, it's his grit and determination what gets him in, for me, above everybody else, because yes, he sometimes goes down theatrical. It won us a penalty, in my opinion, not so long ago. However, the times he does go down, and I know the gaffer's been on his back about it, but he'll run through a brick wall for the club. Yeah. And that's the difference. And that's why I think he's our top striker at the minute in the gaffer's eyes, followed by Assombalonga and then the rest.
But that's one of the reasons I think, like you've just said there, Hugill, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He wants to do so well for this club because it is his club.
Yeah, and he does so much for the team that you don't necessarily see unless you watch him hold the ball up.
But I think that is exactly why the likes of Lewis Wing and Marcus Tavernier need to be playing, because it's the similar between the three of them. They want to do, and I'm not saying it because they're from Boro, but to me they want to do better than any other player on the pitch, because they hold it higher. Because it is their hometown club. Yeah,
they understand it a little bit more. Yeah, it's like, I mean, not that I'm slating Fletcher for a minute, because I really, really want him to do well, and you know, I think there is a player there, but it's like you said there. Technically, he's very good. It's the other parts of his game that are maybe lacking. But players like Wing, Tav, Hugill, technically they're good as well, but they've got that other bit of the game.
They've got the oomph. They know what it's like from from watching.
What I will say about them, and again, what Phil's saying is right, because in a maybe in the chairman's eyes as well. I remember us a couple of years back, for those who don't remember, when we McLaren put a team out with nearly enough all homegrown talent. Remember?
Fulham away.
Fulham away. And
you've been there, haven't you?
I think the start 11. I think the starting 11 were all like young lads from this area.
Was it within like a 20-mile radius of Middlesbrough?
Which is lovely, and it's great. Match of the day put a big thing on about it. All us media put a. My point is, look, it's a business, and we want to win football matches. Yeah. I love Lewis, I love Wingy, and I love Tav and people like that. And I've said before on this show that it's exciting when they come on. However, he's not wrong, Tony Pulis, to say that they do make mistakes, and the reason they make mistakes is because they're young and they want to achieve. Yeah. They want to go forward. They want to play for the club. Yeah. Sometimes that then creates holes in other players.
There was a couple of comments on social media, you know, after the cup game, you know, he was asked, Tony Pulis was asked Lewis Wing did so well today. Just how good is he? And he straight away said, look, he made 2 or 3 mistakes, and I pulled him up on that after the game. And there was a couple of comments on social media saying, almost as if, you can't say that, he's our golden boy. You can't pull him up on his mistakes. But we spoke about this on the show last week, and we said he's right for doing that, because he's got to round his game off, and it's that guidance that'll help him.
I mean, he is not the finished article at all.
Yeah.
He's only a young lad, and the good thing about him, he's got a bit of grit. He's got a bit of Northern League grit in him as well.
So to jump in, lads, we're just going to take a quick break for Teesside TV. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's part 2 of RedArmy TV. Don't forget, on the 2nd of February, Middlesbrough are playing away at West Brom. We are going to be running the coach. Please get in touch either by the website, by Facebook, or give the office a call. Right, then, gentlemen, where were we? Phil briefly touched on Gary Monk. Now, our next game, we're going to be travelling to Birmingham City away. Now, what are your thoughts on that, lads? Birmingham, 8th in the league at the minute. Gary Monk, are they still under a transfer embargo? I think they are at the moment.
Yeah.
And he's doing a pretty good job. Mark, what do you think that game's going to hold for us?
Well, obviously, it's always, it showed us when we went down to QPR and McLaren, when you go and play against an old manager, there's also a little bit of added spice. Tony will probably play it down as the gaffer and say, well, no, it's just another game to win. But he knows it isn't, because to the fans it isn't.
Yeah.
And I don't think Gary Monk had history will show that Gary Monk didn't have a good bond with the fans, and he didn't come in and sort of like embrace the fans and things like that.
It was Monkbot, wasn't it? Everybody referred to it as Monkbot, and he was a bit devoid of personality.
Where Tony didn't he? Tony come straight in and he sort of got the fans on side straight away, which was good to his credit. I just think that Birmingham are getting better and better. They're just creeping up behind us, aren't they?
Exactly the words I've used as well.
They're just like quietly just plodding along. But winning football matches, so it won't be no easy feat to go down there and get something. Yeah. It never is, really.
Phil, we were looking at the odds for the gambling betting odds just quickly before we came on air. On both teams are very, very close. Do you think that's a true reflection of how the game's going to pan out? Or?
Yeah, I'm still a Gary Monk fan at heart. I don't think he was given long enough. I think if you look at the stats, Tony Pulis' reign, Gary Monk's reign, they're very similar. I think it's 2 points better off in Tony Pulis' favour. But like you've just said there, they are creeping up. I think they are doing really well. It's another one of these ex-managers, and Tony Pulis is going to say it's just another game, but to the fans, Mark's very right there in saying it's not, because to us, we as fans want to validate in our own minds and justify, yes, we got rid of Monk for a better manager.
Yeah,
and if he beats us, it's going to be like,
a bit, doesn't it? Yeah,
and it angers us, and then for the rest of the week, we're going to be angry that we've been beaten by an old manager. So I do think there's a lot riding on the game. Nothing in terms of league positioning. I mean, in the fans' passion. The odds are, the nigh on 50-50.
They are. They're very close. I mean, at these guys obviously look at form.
But for me, that's a bad thing for the Boro, because we're the ones currently sitting in 5th and they're in 8th.
Yeah.
And if they're evens, for me, that's sort of suggesting that the bookies think there's going to be a bit of an upset, but they don't want to put all their eggs in the same basket.
As I said, it's looking at form. They are creeping up. They're winning football matches. We've got 4 points from our last 3 games, so we're not faltering. No one's panicking. No one's wetting the bed. But we could be doing a little bit better.
But look at games gone by when we should have won.
Yeah.
And I've gone on about it all season. Games like Swansea that we drew 0-0, we should have won. Rotherham, we should have won. Yeah. And now, when we first were talking about, we were saying, look, it's all right, it's still early on, we've got this. But now we're looking back and we're saying, well, actually, We probably should have got it.
Yeah.
3 points against Rotherham. We should have got that 3 points against Swansea. You know.
For me, we haven't got any of them excuses in the locker because really every game now, for me, I wouldn't say must win, but you need to get something from it because.
As I said, we're getting at the thick end of the season now. Games are coming thick and fast.
And remember, Birmingham don't set up like they don't set up like Derby did. You know, they're not going to come at us straight away. You know how Gary Monk plays football. He's a bit like Tony in a way. He's cagey. He lets the game pan out before he makes any changes. And I just think, and we've said it in the past on the show, we look better away from home with the formation that Tony uses, because when they do push on, we tend to find little bits of space, and it makes us look really good. It makes us look like we're attacking more, and we're not. You know, it's just the fact that
the opposition are, because they're at home and they're leaving that bit more space.
They're carried away with the crowd and things like that, and they're pushing on, trying to get a goal, and we just nip in behind. You know,
I think the biggest difference for me from the first 8 games of the season before that first international break, we looked so comfortable on the ball. Our passing was calm, it was collective, it was direct. The last 15 games, we've never really put ourselves on the ball in a position where we want to dictate play, and I think that's our biggest downfall. Is we let teams come at us home and away. Derby set up, Frank Lampard set up, because he knows that we're in such a slump and the fans are starting to turn for whatever reason. He set up there to score early on and possibly get another one before half-time, get one just after half-time, and then really watch the fans go at Tony Pulis. It backfired. I genuinely think he set up there on New Year's Day to absolutely wipe the floor with us. It backfired, and that's a bonus for us. Going to somewhere like Birmingham in the future, when we go to places like Nottingham Forest with Karanka and teams like that, Leeds we've got coming up in February, it should be us that put our foot on the ball. And it needs to be us. If we can play 4-4-2 in a cup game and come off 5-0 winners, surely there's a disconnect there, because Tony Pulis should be looking at it and going, right, it's not working one up front in the league, but when we go in the cup, when we play 2 up front, we're scoring 5 goals in one half.
The game's about scoring goals, isn't it? And, you know, we can sit and talk about formations and players. It's a simple fact of you've got to score more goals than the other team. I'm sorry to go all Michael Owen on you, but it is. So he's got to be looking and thinking, you know, playing this way, we're scoring goals. Playing this way, we're lucky to nick one. Staying in that part of the world, you know, we're talking about the Birmingham game. On the 2nd of February, we're going to be away to West Brom. We are going to be running a Red Army coach, so I believe the contact details are on the screen, along with Boiler Baggy, who is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, by all means, get in touch, send us a little message through the Facebook, or give us a ring on the number on your screen. You know, we'll run through prices and we'll get a ticket sorted for that game. Lads, I'm going to move on to what's been a bit of a footballing anomaly, a bit of a strange one. It's not a Middlesbrough match that we're going to be quickly touching on.
What?
I'm off. I'm going.
We've ran through this before, lads. You know what we're talking about. I'm going to be touching on the Man City Burton game. For me, and this is just me, I would love to know your opinions on this, lads. For me, I'm not too upset that we didn't go through, because I think if we had gone through, it might not have been 9-0, but I think City would have destroyed us. What kind of effect do you think that would have had on our season, Phil? You know, if we had gone through, would it have been a massive killer for the future?
I'm going to take it back slightly. When Tony Pulis came and he said, judge me on a full season, and we as fans are going to judge him on that season based on the league. Like you said last week, Steve Gibson came out and said, we want to smash the league, we are going to smash the league, however he said it. I think that is the forefront of everybody's mind. I'm glad we came out the cup when we did, because I think our focus, especially going on the season we've had, needs to be the league. I would much rather finish in the playoffs and go out to Burton at quarter-final stages than maybe get to the semi-finals, get absolutely thrashed by Man City, like Burton did, but then finish the season in 7th, 8th, just outside them playoffs. I really do think that we've come out at the right time. It was good while it lasted, but our focus really, really needs to be the league, not just for us, but for the club's sake and for Tony Pulis' sake.
I mean, I don't know. Am I looking at the silver lining of the cup defeat?
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to look back. We've been to places like Man City and won. We've been to places like Liverpool and beat them in the cup. The cups are all different ball game.
Totally agree. Yeah.
The other thing for me is, we're a team who the Championship has been running this year on confidence, and Phil's absolutely right. I can't disagree. I want to see Boro back where they belong for me in the Premier League.
100%. Yeah, league's got to be our priority.
If we'd have gone down to Man City, look, I'm not a betting man, but there's no way that they would have put 9 past the Boro. For the start, we're not set. We're set up stronger than, you know, that.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Ourselves and
however,
Burnley
if we'd have gone down there and got a 0-0 ball draw and brought them back here, right, straight away you're getting fans going. It's getting the players going. A draw down there is like a win. I'm thinking take that confidence into the league.
Yeah.
So I'm just playing devil's advocate there to the fact when you think about it, when we've gone down to places and we have won. You know, we've gone to big teams and we've won. And by the way, I think we went down to Man City went down and beat the Man City in the cup, and we weren't doing that well in the league. At the time, we were stuck.
But we had players there, didn't we? We had the Lee Tomlin.
We had a bit of trickery. Yeah. He turned Vincent Kompany inside out twice.
But I do think saying on what you're saying there, though, imagine if we had beaten Peterborough 5-0 and then we go down a few days later and we do get trumped 9-0. The confidence that we've got on one hand and then conceded 9, you know.
Well, I mean, perfect example.
That's football, fellas.
Exactly,
isn't it?
perfect example. Look back to the season we got to the 2 cup finals. You know, I think we were relegated a couple of weeks after we played at Wembley with Leicester. You know, there wasn't too long. So you know, I see what you're saying. You know, you've got confidence in one hand and, you know, highs and lows, you've got to take them. I think
our confidence this season, or the start of the season, was through the defence. We had such a solid defence. And I know it was Dimmy that played in goal for the cup game. But even then, our defence has taken a battering, both physically and the voices of the fans recently, with Flint being out of position.
It's about time we wrap it up, lads, but quick predictions for the Birmingham game?
3-0 Boro.
You're not going for 5 today?
No, I'm going to go 3.
Mark, I'm going to go with a cautious 2-1 away win.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think the other day I said we were going to go 1-0 down and fight back. But again, you know, let us know what your thoughts are, and are we going to bring up the details again for the West Brom coach again? 2nd of February. Get in touch with us via Facebook. Give us a call on 688 987. You know, if you want to get on the coach and get down there and support the lads. But for tonight, thanks for joining us, Marc and Phil. Thank you very much.
Cheers.